welcome. You are watching the NewsHour Agenda. I am Padmaja Joshi. Today the Supreme Court heard the petition related to the use of bulldozers to act against encroachment and illegal construction. This plea, moved by the Jamiat, actually asked for the stoppage of action by bulldozers across the country. While the court did not allow for the status quo, which had ordered yesterday as far as the Jahangirpuri demolition is concerned, to be lifted just as yet, it also refused to stop action by the bulldozers in any other part of the country. And while all of this was happening, the usual suspects jumped into the entire controversy, twisted it completely out of proportion, gave it another communal angle and used it generally to muddy waters, communalize and provoke. So much so that Cleric, Taukeer Raza, who last we heard of him, was speaking in Bareilly just ahead of the Uttar Pradesh elections, justifying terrorism, talking about how the Batla House encounter was fake. Now he has come out and threatened of a Mahabharat on the streets of the country, which the government will not be able to handle if action by bulldozers continues. In fact, he even said that a second partition of the country was imminent. But he wasn't the only one. He wasn't alone in trying to create this division and foment hate. AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi also wondered, what if a fraction of the 200 million, referring to Muslims, in India were to become radicalized? What if they were to take to the streets? Would India then be able to handle such a security situation? Will the government be up to handle the security challenge? Making one wonder if this was a warning, a threat, or actually an incitement to the community to do exactly what these gentlemen are thinking of as a possibility.
धृतराष्ट्र अंधे और बहरे न बने रहे होते और वो तमाम बेईमानी न देखते रहे होते तो महाभारत न हुई होती, और अगर नरेंद्र मोदी धृतराष्ट्र की भूमिका से बाहर नहीं आए तो हिंदुस्तान में भी महाभारत होने से कोई बचा नहीं सकता। और जिस दिन मुसलमान सड़कों पर आएगा उस दिन फिर किसी के कब्जे में नहीं आने वाला है, ये समझ लिया जाए। वरना फिर हिंदुस्तान को फैसला करना चाहिए कि हिंदू मुस्लिम साथ साथ रहेंगे या अलग अलग रहेंगे। अलग अलग रहेंगे तो दो सगे भाइयों में दीवारें उठाई जाती हैं। फिर हमारे लिए आप बताइए कि हम कहां जाएं? अगर धृतराष्ट्र अंधे और बहरे न बने रहे होते और वो तमाम बेईमानी न देखते रहे होते तो महाभारत न हुई होती, और अगर नरेंद्र मोदी धृतराष्ट्र की भूमिका से बाहर नहीं आए तो हिंदुस्तान में भी महाभारत होने से कोई बचा नहीं सकता। और जिस दिन मुसलमान सड़कों पर आएगा उस दिन फिर किसी के कब्जे में नहीं आने वाला है, ये समझ लिया जाए। वरना फिर हिंदुस्तान को फैसला करना चाहिए कि हिंदू मुस्लिम साथ साथ रहेंगे या अलग अलग रहेंगे। अलग अलग रहेंगे तो दो सगे भाइयों में दीवारें उठाई जाती हैं। फिर हमारे लिए आप बताइए कि हम कहां जाएं?
This kind of mindset of Taukeer Raza is the mindset of divide and rule, of provoking a vote bank in the sake of creating riots and social unrest that the Congress party continues to patronize. This is why, in the name of hijab, sometimes in the name of loudspeaker, and now when action is being taken on illegal encroachments and there is demolition, there is opposition to demolition, but no opposition to this provocation by the Congress party. Today, will the Congress party demand action and throw out Mr. Tauqir Raza from its ecosystem? No. In fact, they will come out in defense of Mr. Tauqir Raza because Tauqir Raza is extremely close to Priyanka Tibrewal.
And mind you, all of this is happening despite the fact that evidence on ground and in fact in the Supreme Court itself, any suggestion that the action by bulldozers in Jahangirpuri or elsewhere is not motivated by any religious concerns. There is no one community which is on target, so much so that even Justice Nageshwar Rao today in the Supreme Court remarked that evidence on hand which is being produced by the union government says that the bulldozers know no religion, they are religion agnostic, the action taken is even-handed. Then what is the intent? Is it a honest mistake where some are persisting with a communal polarizing angle, or is this deliberate? The next Shaheen Bagh, the next hijab issue which is being built up in order to give political mileage.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
All right, joining us on the debate, we have Mujibur Rahman, advocate, Riju Datta, spokesperson of Trinamool Congress, Abhishek Sudhir, political analyst, Priyanka Tibrewal, advocate. And I want to ask the first question to Guru Prakash, national spokesperson of the BJP. What would you say to people like Maulana Tauqir Raza and Asaduddin Owaisi who are warning the government that you are pushing youth of the community? Mr. Owaisi says, what will happen if even a fraction of the population becomes radicalized? Thanks to what you are doing, Guru Prakash, what will you do?
No, Padmaja, I want to make one thing clear that the likes of Taukeer Raza or Asaduddin Owaisi, they don't represent the entire Muslim community. They just represent a very microscopic minority. They belong to a radical fundamentalist Islamic Salafi thought which is unwarranted and unacceptable. We have seen that only in the last couple of months, incidents in Uttar Pradesh, in parts of Madhya Pradesh, where Muslims who have supported the Bharatiya Janata Party, where Muslims who are nationalist, peace-loving and development-loving, they have come out and supported the Bharatiya Janata Party. But they are not representing that. So they are not representing the entire Muslim community. They are just representing the radical Islamic and fundamentalist thought. And before that, I would also like to make it very clear on your show tonight that it is the product. It is a product of the politics of minority appeasement, which has become a textbook practice module of the Congress party. Have you forgotten that? 2007, when someone like Prime Minister Manmohan Singh says कि भारत के संसाधनों पे पहला मुसलमानों का है, we forgot that after Batla House encounter, Salman Khurshid says that Sonia Gandhi ro rahi thi. So the point is not that. The cancer of minority appeasement gives encouragement to all these people who can make such a pointless statement, such an illogical statement, and such statement will stoke communal incidents as well. So this is something I did not speak when you were speaking, sir. I'm not going to.
Minority appeasement and appeasing who? Tauqir Raza?
Are you aware of Article 300A of the Constitution? Are you aware of Article 300A of the Constitution? No person should be deprived of his property save by authority of law. There is no authority of law. You had no authority.
Okay, Mr. Sudhir, I'll come back to you. Let Guru Prakash finish his point. Let Guru Prakash finish his point. Yes, finish your point, Guru Prakash. Then Abhishek
Answer
Sudhir.
The question: why is your party against the Constitution?
This is the sheer desperation. They have उत्तर प्रदेश के लोगों ने आपको आपकी औकात दिखा दी है. मुझे लगता है मुझे भी बोलने की आवश्यकता नहीं है. That is very clear. Now something which is very interesting to note here, that the gentleman is talking about Constitution. Do you follow Constitution? It is your party leader, Samajwadi Party leader, who said Baba Saheb Ambedkar इस देश के सबसे बड़े भूमाफिया हैं. संविधान बनाने वाले को भूमाफिया बोलते हो. संविधान बनाने वाले को भूमाफिया बोलते हो. And now you're saying this.
Dilip Saxena, a Hindu shop owner, had permission from the DDA.
Padmaja, you either don't call me this. I'm not going to indulge in mudslinging with this man.
He has been paying tax on that.
Sir, just a second. Can I please request 30 seconds of silence from both? Finish your point, Guru Prakash. Yes.
No, Padmaja, I'm not going to indulge in mudslinging with this man. I'm here. He'll be getting a chance to speak. He can speak then. Constitutionally, legally, there is the rule of law. The rule of law must be followed. But this person has no locus standi to speak on Ambedkar, whose party has defamed Baba Saheb Ambedkar by saying that Bhoo Mafia. You are the one who called Baba Saheb Ambedkar Bhoo Mafia. The people of Uttar Pradesh have shown you the door.
So you're saying that the threat that there could be a radicalization by your bulldozer action is an overstatement. रेडिकलाइजेशन नहीं होगा. तौकीर रजा कह रहे हैं मुसलमान सड़कों पर निकलेंगे. गुरु प्रकाश
नहीं देखिए, नहीं तौकीर रजा, असदुद्दीन ओवैसी, इनकी राजनीति इसी आधार पे चलती है और इनको अपना दुकान चलाना है. बट विथ लाइक्स ऑफ समाजवादी पार्टी विच हैज ऑन रिकॉर्ड सेड दिस, दे हैव डिफेंड बाबा साहेब अंबेडकर. दे वर टॉकिंग अबाउट जिन्ना व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट गन्ना. दे हैव नो लोकस स्टैंडर्ड टू स्पीक ऑन दैट. They are the ones who have perpetuated the politics of minority oppression in this country, and the people of Uttar Pradesh, the people of country, are aware and very much conscious of the fact.
Okay, minority appeasement, Abhishek Sudhir, even if it means that people are now going to threaten violence. Yes, Abhishek Sudhir.
There is no minority appeasement. First of all, the Bharatiya Janata Party is not following the constitution, Padmaja. They are not even listening to the Supreme Court. Padmaja, today Prime Minister Modi and Amit Shah have lost control of the country. The VHP and the Bajrang Dal are running the country today. Bajrang Muni is running the country. Yati Narsingh Anand is running the country today. These radical elements are running the country today.
Bajrang Muni is
but
in
they want
jail.
to talk about minority appeasement. What about
Bajrang
appeasing
Muni is
these
in
Hindu
jail.
radicals?
Can we please again stick to the topic?
Sorry?
Let's stick to the topic, sir. Here you have the Supreme Court staying the action in Jahangir Puri, asking for status quo to be maintained. Yet apparently Bajrang Muni and Bajrang Dal are running. Come on, Abhishek Sudhir, let's be reasonable over here. Again, we are engaging in hyperbole.
VHP and
Let's stick to
Bajrang
the
Dal
facts.
put pressure
The
on the
point
Delhi
is
police and they
that
amended the FIR.
here is a claim that has been debunked. Yet everyone persists with it, with the result that you have the likes of Taukeer Raza taking that claim, building on it, and now asking for full-fledged civil war. He is some random cleric sitting in Bareilly who the Congress patronized for the UP elections, and now he is saying there will be a Mahabharat on the streets. Who is he? Who is he, and on what basis is he even making all of these claims, except that it is amplified by mainstream political parties?
No, y'all will do debates on Tauqir Raza and Asaduddin Owaisi. Our Tauqir Raza and Asaduddin Owaisi do not represent the Muslim community. The BJP spokesperson has said that. Does Yati Narsingh Anand represent the Hindu community?
Sir, here is the thing, that it only takes that one loony to give such a cry. I will give you an example. You might think that we are picking up a non-issue and debating it. You know why this is a problem? Let me quote to you the example of Hubli, where after the arrest of one man, a crowd of 1,000 strong, apparently on the call of some AIMIM leaders, gathered, threw stones at the police station and gave calls for beheading a man. And that is the power these kind of people have. And that is why one needs to ask, why are such people being emboldened? Riju Datta.
The Indian Muslim.
They are radicals. Who is giving them a narrative to go and peddle? Tauqir Raza is a radical who is building on a narrative that mainstream parties are supporting. Saying, oh, Muslims are being bulldozed. Says who? The court doesn't agree with it, evidence on ground doesn't agree with it, but there is Maulana Tauqir Raza sitting there saying Muslims in this country are being bulldozed. Riju Datta.
Thank you, Padmaja. I just want to say, I have heard both the names Tauqir Raza and Yati Narsingh Anand, and I just want to say they are two sides of the same dung and they don't belong in a civil society. Bottom line is, India, that is Bharat, and as long as the constitution of this country is relevant, unity is our main strength. We do not divide people, we do not bulldoze people, we do not silence people. At the end of the day, what has happened in Jahangir Puri, irrespective of religious narrative that has been peddled by BJP, who are high done from right, should come back to the basic crux of the matter that four people's houses and their livelihood taken away. As per, there are, I think, 20 judgments where even if there is an encroachment drive on an illegal structure, you need to discuss. But this is being done. After Corona pandemic, the Home Minister of Madhya Pradesh said, हम आपके घर पत्थर में आपको कर देंगे ये बातें हैं and then BJP points at other parties.
BJP should also stop their petty politics of majority appeasement. Don't do it. Stick to politics.
So you're saying BJP is anti-poor because of the demolition drive in Jahangir Puri?
Absolutely, and they are into the petty business of majority appeasement. Why don't they look at themselves and
so what does that make the TMC by the murder of 9 people in Birbhum?
9 people got murdered, all are behind bars. Here, without a court order, you are bulldozing people without giving adequate notice. और जब court बोल दिया रोकने के लिए, फिर भी आप तोड़े जा रहे हैं.
But if 9 people are charred alive, are burnt alive in Birbhum, does that make you anti-Muslim?
Don't digress. Do not digress. That's a topic we have done 100 debates on. I'll ask you one question, very relevant question. Delhi किसका हक है? Who is responsible for Delhi? Is it Amit Shah? Or is it Kejriwal who's doing yoga? I don't know who's responsible. Who's responsible for the people of Delhi? And one more thing, before I go to Guru Prakash.
The Municipal Corporation is responsible, which is why today the North Delhi Municipal Mayor, he on record said every single illegal construction was given a notice and I will continue to give notices. He has said it on record, sir. This was said on record inside the Supreme Court. It's a matter of court record now.
Very good, very good.
So what are we debating? Every single person who has done illegal encroachment doesn't need to get any notice, irrespective, mind you, of their religion. And everyone who's done illegal construction has been given notice, and this has been said in the Supreme Court of India. Now,
Brilliant, Padmaja, then why the illegal farmhouses and shamiyanas in Lucknow, Delhi not being bulldozed? Why the illegal bungalows of UP BJP leaders not being bulldozed?
You stay in Kolkata, so you may not know, but I personally know of people who are in Chhatarpur farms whose walls and whose half farmhouses were bulldozed by the NCD. Now, I personally know of people in Chhatarpur farms.
You know a handful. You know a handful. Now, if I go into the details, then you have to see their political inclination also. No,
Sir, you know a handful. 250 such activities took place in North Delhi Municipal Corporation area in the last 4 months. 250. Now,
the people of Jahangirpuri has been given 15 days notice as per the judgment of Vishwanath judgment of 2018 Supreme Court, where they given 15 days notice.
As per the mayor of North Delhi, yes.
On your channel,
as per the mayor of North Delhi, yes.
On
they have been
your
given
channel times now, on your channel times now, I'm ashamed to say this, a Hindu man, Mr. Srivastava, was showing his parcha that I have due permit from the DDC. Why
are you ashamed? If a Hindu man has done illegal construction, he also should face action. Why are you feeling ashamed about it?
I am not a Hindu or a Muslim. I am an Indian. I am a practicing Hindu, but I feel ashamed because these so-called Hindus on your show do not represent me. I'm sorry.
There is no shame in taking action against Hindus in this country. Why? Why should anyone be ashamed? It doesn't give him any immunity.
Yes,
so what if he is Hindu? If he
has
built a second floor where only 2 floors have been cleared, first floor has been cleared, he's built a second floor, he will face action. He can be Agarwal, he can be Jha, he can be Govind, he can be Ganesh. He will face action.
The narrative of the country is to Nityanand Rai on the floor of the parliament, and I'm giving you a stat. Nityanand Rai on the floor of the parliament has said 3,400 communal riots from 2016 to 2020. Who has failed India? The Prime Minister.
Now you jump from one to the other, sir. Right now we were debating, we started the debate on the very small issue of whether Muslims are being acted against. You said the BJP is anti-poor, anti-Muslim. Now we have gone on to Nityanand Rai on the floor of the house. First, let me ask for your considered opinion, because tomorrow your party is sending a fact-finding team. So what are they finding in terms of facts? Is this an anti-Muslim drive? According to the facts which have been found by TMC?
Once the fact-finding committee goes there, finds all the relevant facts, I'm sure you're going to call me and I'm going to debate on that issue on your channel. Wait till tomorrow at least.
But right now, according to the facts available to you, what do you find?
I think right now what is available, it is not about Hindu and Muslim. It is BJP who is illegally using a riot to demolish the port to the ground.
All right. At least the Trinamool Congress has a divergence there from Congress, Asaduddin Owaisi, and from Maulana Tauqir Raza, Priyanka Tibrewal. At least they are saying, no, it is not communal.
So, I've seen the opinion of Mr. Datta, and I would really say that his heart goes out for the Muslims in Delhi, but he doesn't speak about the Muslims who were burnt alive by the TMC people in Birbhum. He doesn't want to speak on that. So it's quite ironic. And apart from this, I would like to say, Padmaja, that it's a matter of shame that here also they are trying to divide between Hindu and Muslim. There are many localities in Rajendra Nagar where there was illegal construction and they were all brought down. There were encroachments and it was demolished. But then no one said that, Sardars will come on the street. No one said that Hindus will come down on the street. But here we hear that they are saying that Muslims will come on the street and Mahabharat hogi. So you can very well understand what is the intention. See, there are specific provisions which ban the encroachment of any public place. And Supreme Court also in many of these cases have said that if it is under the Act and there is complete power vested in the Act, then what they call demolition is actually removal of these kind of encroachments, and which is well within their rights. And 334 and 335 have been followed or not, sir. Now the matter is in Supreme Court. The Supreme Court will decide whether due procedure of law was followed or not. According to the mayor, whatever requirement was there, being it a notice or all, everything was followed. Now, since the matter is in Supreme Court, they will decide whether due procedure...
Oh, so you believe the mayor? According to the mayor, they are saying they weren't given an opportunity of being heard. The Supreme Court's order was communicated to them. The Times Now correspondent, yesterday, 2 days ago in the morning, the Times Now correspondent was going to each of the officials there and telling them, listen, the Supreme Court has issued a status quo order. Do not demolish. Do not demolish. The Times Now reporter was saying it to them. They continue to demolish.
So whatever is happening, whether... You are right on that. You are right on that. And on that specific point, let me take the response of Guru Prakash. Priyanka Tibrewal, just a second. Abhishek Sudhir is right on that point, and even the judge today said, Guru Prakash, that we will take strict note of the Municipal Corporation not seizing action despite our order. There, the municipality was too clever by half. Basically went ahead and did their job despite the court's orders, and the court is not happy.
No, Padmaja, the mayor has come on board. He has publicly said, the mayor has come on board and he has publicly stated that notice was served. And once the notice reaches him, it will stop. There is no point in debating that. But the larger question here, when the TMC, which was rightly pointed out by Priyanka as well, that where was their conscience when on May 2nd, in the name of Khela Hobe, Dalit women were raped, Dalits were brutally murdered, people were migrating to Assam because of the fear of violence. Where were their conscience then? And it's very easy for you to tell us that we are demolishing houses. Just look at the average number of houses that has been constructed in the last 8 years. 3.8 crores. Much more than the Congress rule of 60 years. 60 years of Congress, on an average, only 11 lakh houses were constructed annually. In the last 8 years, more than 35 lakh houses have been constructed. So don't give in to this empty rhetoric, and don't fall in this trap that Congress saying garibi hatao. Kiski garibi hataye wo hum sab ne dekha hai. But this argument, which we must understand, the entire opposition is bent on communalizing this incident. Look at the Khargon incident. In Khargon, Madhya Pradesh, 88 houses of Hindus were also demolished. No one spoke about it. Less than 1/4 of that number were demolished of the Muslim houses. So issue is not that. The point is not that. You are misleading the entire debate. You are misleading the entire political discourse and trying to communalize this. We must get out of this cancer of communalizing each and every incident.
And is it not a coincidence that every time the same bunch of usual suspects are at play? Whether it be people like Taukeer Raza, whether it be AIMIM, and now for good measure even the campus front has joined in. Mujibur Rahman. Communalizing in order to vitiate the atmosphere.
Not only Taukeer Raza, even, yes, not only Taukeer Raza, even United Nations and Genocide Watch has said that India is heading towards a civil war, and Genocide Watch has put India in the Genocide Watch list, and is in the scene that any time Muslim genocide can happen in India. And who is dividing, the world knows. Times magazine has called Narendra Modi as divider in chief. These are the facts the world knows. And now come to this demolition. Even you are saying this is illegal construction, can you go and just start demolition? Just listen, just give me time.
Other than what Time magazine has said and X magazine has said, can we stick to the issue at hand about what happened in Jangir Puri and how that is being used to polarize?
These are the facts world knows. You cannot. These are the facts that world know. Okay, now let's do the demolition, illegal demolition. Yes, even if it's illegal, you cannot go simply and start demolishing, even if someone is sleeping inside. Is it illegal?
So you're saying that because bulldozers are removing illegal construction, it is genocide?
Yes.
There is no 3 degrees of separation. There is no degree of separation between illegal construction and then there is genocide.
Should be filed against every person who is behind these illegal demolition of these constructions.
Because sir, if that is your logic for genocide, then there is a genocide against the state that Guru Prakash belongs to,
this is not
because there was a Mr. Jha whose shop was demolished yesterday, then there must be a genocide against people from Bihar. There must be genocide against Guptas, because there was a Mr. Gupta whose shop was demolished.
Ko goli maro, he's outside, then I am calling that the genocide call. Every day you see on the street that people are into fanatics making call to
वो गद्दारों को बोला था, आपने इसको extrapolate कैसे कर दिया? Why are you making the assumption that when you talk about gaddars, you are talking about one community? That is an extremely unfortunate suggestion to make, sir.
And the shame is that you people are saving their skins. You people do not make any even single.
Mr. Rahman, let me actually tell you that today the Madhya Pradesh High Court has turned down an application that said that the action by the bulldozer against illegal construction is wrong. Today, the Madhya Pradesh High Court has thrown out that appeal. So either you are saying that the Madhya Pradesh High Court is genocidal, or you are way away from facts.
It's not only bulldozing the homes, it's every sequence of from the 8 years you can see that people calling the genocide of the Muslims, and the state government, the state is saving those people. And even no one can say, even in the judiciary, people have different opinions. They are associated with different political parties. They agree with different some policies of the states. Even the Chief Justice D.N. Patel has said that I was in conformity with the state government. So this is open now that even in judiciary people have their biased
respond to this.
view.
It's a fact universally acknowledged that when Time magazine calls you divider in chief, every action of yours subsequently is genocidal.
No. Who is Time magazine to decide of affairs in India? The gentleman who was just speaking before me, I would like to remind him of a World Bank report, because you seem to have so much faith in international agencies. You would also have faith in the World Bank report, which came only 3 days ago, and that has said that the extreme poverty in India has gone down 12.5% with respect to 2011. So please don't quote international reports selectively. That suits your agenda, that suits your propaganda. Please have an impartial and objective bias. The West does not have any authority to give us lessons or sermon on democracy. What do you know about democracy? Only in India we have seen that a chai wala can become the prime minister of a country. Has that happened anywhere in the West? So please start decolonizing your mind. Please start decolonizing yourself. But your hatred for Prime Minister Modi, your hatred for Bharatiya Janata Party is giving you these prejudices for which I am not holding you accountable. But sir, you must also understand that in the last 8 years, please have the patience. Please have. आप सुन लीजिए भैया, आप लगातार बोलते हैं, मतलब ऐसे थोड़ी होता है. When you have no logic, when you have no rationality, you speak and interfere. Have some patience, have some grace, have some dignity. You have no logic, you have no rationality, and then you are not letting any other people speak. You are not letting any other people speak. This says that you are defied of any logic.
Mr. Rahman, you will not go by what the courts of India are saying, but you would quote what the UN says, or what the Time magazine says, or what X or Genocide Watch says. Let's also for a moment focus on each of the issues that have been picked up. Our courts have ruled.
India is heading towards a civil war. Yes, everybody knows, every Indian knows that India is heading towards.
Sir, with due respect, that is something that we've heard for the last 7 years, and we are alive and well and kicking right here in India.
Running a pogrom against Muslims. Indian state is just running a pogrom against the Muslims. Everybody knows.
Sir, the pogrom has been ongoing according to you for the last 7 years.
You can't. I know you can tell in your television, but I know you know.
Actually, this community is scared because they are saying.
Sir, this is the longest running pogrom in the history of the world, where you have a population, and rightly so, this is their country, which is a good part of our country, a 14 to 16% population of our country, and yet for 7 years there has been an ongoing pogrom. Why? Because UN says it, or Genocide Watch says it. Priyanka Tibrewal.
That is what I am saying. See, on the one hand, they are saying
no, because
that India is so intolerant.
I feel it. Everybody knows. Every person of the country knows it.
That they will make.
You are feeling genocide, sir. How exactly do you feel genocide?
That is what I am saying. Padmaja, they are so scared.
The textbook definition of genocide is that the people on whom it is perpetrated do not feel it.
If you do not feel, Every sensible person will feel it. Every sensible person of the country
you do not feel that it is a genocide when riots like this take place. You do not want to speak about the accused who are behind these riots. Why every time it is an answer and a Rahmani?
India is
you will not speak about those who are behind the riots. You want to shift the focus. You want to shift the focus from those who are accused behind these riots, and then you say we are intolerant, and then you say that you feel scared. But you don't feel scared to say that another Mahabharat
will take place. This is a state pogrom, yes.
Speak
this is a
about
state pogrom
those
that
who are behind the
are
riot.
behind bars and the actual culprits are outside.
Oh, really?
Yes, this is a state,
now you want to shift the focus from the riot.
So you Mr. Rahman, with due respect, while I realize that there are certain compulsions of a television debate, let us not trivialize words like genocide, because there are several parts of the world, including our country in Jammu and Kashmir, where actual genocide has taken place. Let's not trivialize words like genocide and say, oh, there is an anti-encroachment drive, this is genocide. Oh, we asked you to, have Aadhaar registration, this is genocide. Let's not trivialize it. But the point is, Guru Prakash, and again, because you did not answer that question earlier, when you have a ham-handed approach of carrying out this drive, so much so where a specific issue that is brought up by the Supreme Court that you did not stop when they asked you to, the feeling, genocide is of course an exaggeration, but there is a feeling that when it comes to sending a message, the government plays fast and loose with rules. Guru Prakash.
Padmaja, it's not about that. It's about creating the fear psychosis by a section of the opposition leader. And like I said, the mayor has come out and he has publicly said that the moment he received the order, he stopped the bulldozing of those illegal encroachment. That's not the point here. The point is to send a strong message that you cannot attack a peaceful Ram Navami procession. Why was there a design that simultaneously 10 Ram Navami processions were attacked across the country and no one is talking about it? Why are we not talking about it? Okay. Why are we creating this fear psychosis? This is unwarranted and needless. But like I said, it is the product of the minority appeasement, and the opposition must introspect now. This is the reason the Congress is now seeing its worst performance in the history of its existence. That's the entire problem, that we are not asking the right questions. Okay. We are not yet asking the right questions.
The introspection, and also remember that while all parties have the right to practice their brand of politics, but if you end up emboldening the radicals and the fringe, which will use your narrative to further the divisions in society, is that something that any party should be allowing? We'll leave it at that. The important decision, of course, will come out of the Supreme Court. All gentlemen, Priyanka Tibrewal, thanks for joining us. Joining us now on the show, we have Maulana Tauqir Raza. Taukeer Raza साहब, जब आप महाभारत की बात करते हैं, तो क्या मतलब है आपका? कैसे होगी महाभारत?
नहीं, महाभारत की बात मैंने एक संदर्भ में कही थी कि उस वक्त जो राजा थे, वो अगरचे अंधे थे, इसके बावजूद देख भी सब रहे थे, सुन भी रहे थे, समझ भी रहे थे, लेकिन एक पक्षीय काम चल रहा था। राजा का काम है सबको बराबर समझना और बराबर इंसाफ करना। तो वहां जो कुछ हो रहा था वो नाइंसाफी थी, और वही नाइंसाफी आज मैं देख रहा हूं। और मैंने प्रधानमंत्री जी से अनुरोध किया था कि उस वक्त नाइंसाफी हुई तो अगरचे पांडव बहुत कमजोर थे,
अनुरोध नहीं किया, आपने चेतावनी दी।
तमाम चीजें,
चेतावनी किस बात की दे रहे हैं आप प्रधानमंत्री को, मौलाना साहब?
मैंने चेतावनी कहीं नहीं दी है। मैंने ये कहा है कि अगर प्रधानमंत्री जी इस माहौल को ठीक करने की कोशिश नहीं करते हैं, धृतराष्ट्र की भूमिका से बाहर नहीं आते हैं, तो फिर हम मजबूर होंगे। हम कहां जाए, किसके सामने गुहार रखें? सरकार हमारी नहीं सुन रही, पुलिस हमारी नहीं सुन रही है, तो अब हमें न तो पाकिस्तान लेने को कबूल करेगा, न बांग्लादेश कबूल करेगा, हमें किसी समंदर में ढकेल दिया जाए, या फिर हम मजबूर होंगे, अगर आप हमारे साथ इंसाफ नहीं करेंगे तो हम मजबूर होंगे कि जेल भरो आंदोलन चलाएंगे, और ये आंदोलन हमारा देशव्यापी होगा। तो ये
आपने ये तो
चेतावनी
कहा
नहीं
ही
है
नहीं मौलाना साहब, अब तो आप डैमेज कंट्रोल कर रहे हैं। आपके शब्द जो थे, ये जो आप टीवी पर एक चीज बोलते हैं और पीछे से दूसरी चीज बोलते हैं, आपके शब्द क्या थे? आपके जो लफ्ज थे वो मजबूरी के नहीं थे, वो धमकी के थे। मौलाना साहब, आपके शब्द क्या थे? आपने बोला जिस दिन मुसलमान सड़कों पर आएगा उस दिन किसी से संभलने वाला नहीं है। मैं मोदी सरकार को चेतावनी देता हूं, मुसलमान सड़कों पर क्यों आएगा और संभलेगा क्यों नहीं?
असल में कुछ चैनलों को एक विलेन की जरूरत होती है, मुझे खलनायक बना के पेश करना उनका शौक है, उनकी आदत है।
आपको कोई खलनायक बनाने की जरूरत नहीं है मौलाना साहब। आप चैनलों का विश्लेषण ना करें। आप ये बताइए, क्या आपने कहा कि नहीं कि मुसलमान सड़क पे आएगा तो किसी से संभलने वाला नहीं है?
बात करता हूं, अगर आप मेरे साथ नहीं रहना चाहते, मेरे साथ इंसाफ नहीं करना चाहते, तो मेरे पास वाहिद रास्ता, और सड़कों पर ही आऊंगा मैं। मुझे गिरफ्तारी देने जाना है तो सड़कों पर आना है। मैंने कहा देशव्यापी आंदोलन चलेगा और
संभलेगा नहीं का क्या मतलब है?
सड़कों पर आएंगे और गिरफ्तारी देने के लिए सड़कों पर आएंगे, युद्ध करने या किसी से लड़ने के लिए नहीं आएंगे।
पर महाभारत में कोई जेल भरो तो नहीं था। महाभारत कहने का क्या मतलब था, ये तो ना आप नहीं समझ पा रहे हैं, या आप ये सोच रहे हैं कि लोग बेवकूफ हैं जब आप कहें कि हम सड़कों पर आएंगे और महाभारत होगी।
नहीं, मेरी बात सुनिए, आपने मुझे बोलने के लिए बुलाया तो जरा सुन लें। जब देश का राजा बेईमानों का साथ देगा और मजलूम का साथ नहीं देगा, तो उस वक्त भी महाभारत हुई थी। और आज भी अगर धृतराष्ट्र की भूमिका में प्रधानमंत्री रहते, हमारे देश का राजा रहता है, तो देश को महाभारत होने से बचाना है। इसके लिए मैं प्रधानमंत्री से कहता हूं कि आपको धृतराष्ट्र की भूमिका से बाहर आकर अपने देश हित में, अपने एकता और भाईचारे के लिए काम करना चाहिए, इंसाफ करना चाहिए। सबका साथ और सबका विकास की बात आप करते हो, मैं आपका साथ देने को तैयार हूं, लेकिन
संभलेगा नहीं का क्या मतलब है?
जी,
किससे नहीं संभलेगा?
किससे?
मुसलमान सड़कों पर आ गया तो सरकार से संभलेगा नहीं का क्या मतलब?
हाँ, नहीं, मैं जब जेल जाने के लिए निकलूंगा तो मैं जेल ही जाऊंगा, आप रोक नहीं सकोगे। मैं किसी को धमकी नहीं दे रहा हूं कि मैं आपके ऊपर हमला कर दूंगा। मैं जेल जाने की बात कर रहा हूं। आप मेरे बच्चों को, मजलूमों को, बेगुनाह बच्चों को जेल में डालते हैं, जिसके दोनों हाथ कटे हुए हैं, उसको आप पत्थर पास कह के उसके खिलाफ मुकदमा कायम करते। ना इंसाफी की हद हो चुकी है, प्याला लबरेज हो चुका है। अब हम
इंसाफी की बात कर रहे हैं। आज आप कह रहे हैं कोई आपकी सुन नहीं रहा। आप कोर्ट में गए, जमीयत कोर्ट में गया, कोर्ट मामला सुन रहा है, आप सड़कों पर फैसले की धमकी क्यों दे रहे हैं? मामला जब कोर्ट में है तो सड़क का क्या काम?
नहीं, जब मेरी आप नहीं सुन रहे हो, मेरी नहीं मान रहे हो, कोर्ट से हमें मदद नहीं मिल रही है, हमें हमारी पार्टियों से मदद नहीं मिल रही, कोई हमारी सरपरस्ती करने वाला नहीं है, तो हम कहाँ जाए, क्या करें? फिर हम सड़कों पर इसलिए नहीं आ रहे कि हमें लड़ना है।
कैसे मदद नहीं मिल रही? कोर्ट में तो आपका मामला सुना गया। कोर्ट ने बोला है कि 2 हफ्ते तक स्टेटस क्वो बनाया जाए। फैसला वही तो नहीं है ना जो आपके हक में हो, जो आपकी पसंद का हो, वही सही फैसला है, नहीं तो सड़क पे फैसला होगा।
एक बात मुझे आप बताएं, कोर्ट में जब गुहार लगाई गई तब कोर्ट ने सुना, वरना ये इतना बड़ा मामला था। मैं जहांगीरपुरी की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं, जहां भी बुलडोजर चल रहा है वो देश पर बुलडोजर चलने का काम हो रहा है। मैंने बड़े बड़े अपराधी देखे, आतंकवादी देखे, गोडसे की संपत्ति पे कभी कोई बुलडोजर नहीं चला। बड़े बड़े आतंकवादियों की संपत्ति का अधिग्रहण किया गया, जब्त की गई, उसको नीलाम किया गया। लेकिन
आप कहना क्या चाहते हैं?
किसी
बड़े बड़े अपराधियों की संपत्ति पर बुलडोजर चला। उत्तर प्रदेश में मुख्तार अंसारी की संपत्ति पर बुलडोजर चला, पर इसका क्या लेना देना है मामले से? जब कोर्ट में मामला है तो सड़क पे फैसले की धमकी क्यों?
अब आप अपनी बात मुकम्मल कर ले तो मैं बताता हूँ। मैं यही बात कह रहा हूं कि किसी पर भी बुलडोजर नहीं चलना चाहिए, क्योंकि मैं अपराधी हूं, मैंने अपराध किया है।
क्यों नहीं चलना चाहिए?
मुझे फांसी पर लटकाओ।
अगर कल आपके घर पे कोई कब्जा करके बैठ जाएगा तो आप रहने देंगे?
वो देश की संपत्ति है, देश की संपत्ति को नुकसान पहुंचाने वाले देश प्रेमी नहीं हो सकते।
अरे मौलाना साहब, कल को आपके घर पे कोई कब्जा करके बैठ जाएगा, आप रहने देंगे?
नीलाम कर दीजिए, नीलाम कर दीजिए, आप जब्त कर लीजिए मेरी संपत्ति को। बुलडोजर
आप अपना घर नीलाम कर देंगे?
मैं
आके कब्जा कर लूं आपके घर पे, आप घर नीलाम कर देंगे?
अरे आप किस टाइप की एंकर है मेरी समझ में? मैं क्या कह रहा हूं और आप क्या कह रही है? आप मेरी बात को समझने की कोशिश नहीं कर रही है, आपको सवाल करना है। मैं ये कह रहा हूं कि अगर किसी ने अपराध किया है तो उस अपराधी को सजा मिलनी चाहिए, ना कि उसके घर को। घर ने कोई जुर्म नहीं किया, घर पर बुलडोजर नहीं चलना चाहिए। घर वो देश का घर है, देश पर बुलडोजर नहीं चलाया जाना चाहिए। मैं ये कह रहा हूं, पहले भी आतंकवादियों की संपत्तियां
अगर देश की संपत्ति पर कोई अपना घर बना दे तो वो देश का घर नहीं होता है, वो उस पर कब्जा करने वाले का घर होता है। और उस जमीन को वापस देश के लिए लाने के लिए उसके घर को गिराना जरूरी बन जाता है। ये तो कानून कहता है। मौलाना साहब, कानून को तो आप बदल नहीं सकते, भले से ही आप जितना आर्ग्यू कर ले, भले से ही आप जितनी धमकी दे दे, कानून तो नहीं बदलेगा। और कानून बहुत साफ साफ कहता है कि अगर देश की संपत्ति पर कोई कब्जा करके घर बनाए तो वो देश का घर नहीं हो जाता, वो उसका घर रहता है और आपको उसको घर को हटा के देश की जमीन वापस लानी पड़ती है। और ये बात तो आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने मानी है ना तौकीर साहब, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने आज माना है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा कि हिंदू हो या मुसलमान, दोनों पर बुलडोजर चला।
मैं ये समझता हूं कि हिंदू मुसलमानों की जितनी भी प्रॉपर्टीज है, जितनी भी बिल्डिंग्स है, यही हमारा देश है। इस देश में अगर किसी ने अपराध किया है, उसकी संपत्ति जब्त कर लो, उसे नीलाम कर दो, लेकिन उस पर बुलडोजर चलाने का मतलब है कि आप अपने देश का नुकसान कर रहे हैं। मेरी बात तो समझने की कोशिश कीजिए।
चलिए, तो आप मुझे पहले मैं आपसे अदालत के बारे में सवाल पूछना चाहती हूं, पर आप ही का लॉजिक इस्तेमाल करके एक सवाल पूछ रही हूं। आप जहां बैठे हैं उस घर का गेट होगा ना, कल आके मैं 3 मंजिला इमारत बना दूं आपके गेट के सामने, क्या किया जाए? रहने दिया जाए?
इसका क्या मतलब हुआ? इसका क्या मतलब हो? इसका मतलब ये हुआ,
यही मतलब है
लोगों का।
आप लॉजिक दे रहे हैं कि भाई उस मजलूम का घर मत तोड़ो, वो देश का घर हो गया, उसकी संपत्ति कुर्क कर दो। तो मैं आपके गेट के सामने एक घर बना करके बैठ जाती हूँ 3 मंजिला।
अच्छा,
और तोड़िएगा मत, क्योंकि घर है,
ठीक,
घर तो देश का है।
ये वही बात है कि लोग रोजा खोलने के इंतजार में बैठे हुए हैं, अजान के इंतजार में बैठे हैं, और उनके घर के सामने, उनकी मस्जिद के सामने आप जाएं और हनुमान चालीसा और पाठ और ये तमाम चीजें करने लगे। ये आपकी नजर में आप
इधर उधर की बातें कर रहे हैं। तौकीर रजा साहब, आपने बोला कि कोई कहीं भी घर बनाए तोड़ा ना जाए, क्योंकि दर्द होता है जब घर टूटता है। तो आपके गेट के सामने घर बना लेते हैं, तोड़िएगा मत, दर्द होगा।
अरे भाई, कोई कहीं भी घर, मैं कह रहा हूँ अतिक्रमण किसी ने किया है, किसी ने नाजायज कब्जा किया है, किसी ने अपराध किया है, नोटिस जारी करो, उस संपत्ति को जब्त करो। बुलडोजर चलाने का क्या मतलब? अदालतों का काम बुलडोजर से लिया जाएगा।
फिर भी बताया नहीं आपने कि अगर आपके घर के गेट के सामने कोई और बना लेगा घर, तो आप बुलडोजर चलवाएंगे कि नहीं? पर एक बात ये भी बता दीजिए, आज कोर्ट में
आप बना लो आके, मेरे यहाँ अपना घर आप बना लीजिए आके।
चलिए, अगर आप खुला न्योता दे ही रहे हैं तो कोई सुनने वाला होगा, क्या पता वो आपका ये न्योता एक्सेप्ट कर ले। मौलाना साहब, आगे का सवाल नहीं सुनेंगे? चलिए, so I think Maulana Tauqir Raza is not really willing to take any more questions. The interesting thing though is that the court very specifically tore into the arguments that Maulana Saab is making when he says that it's only a specific community that is being targeted, because of which he now wants to get onto the streets and agitate against the country. Here's a man who's threatening a second Mahabharat, even though his very basic logic flies in the face of facts.
The News Hour at 10 will be right back after the break.